Serving their community is who they are because they love where they live. REMAX 3D Real Estate is proud to bring you Heart of Royse City, a video series dedicated to celebrating all the wonderfully great things about Royse City, Texas. On every episode, Dennisha Denney will share Royse City's story through the stories of the people who call Royse City home. This is Heart of Royse City.
Hey y'all, I'm Dennisha Denney, your host of Heart of Royse City. And today we're sitting down at the REMAX 3D Real Estate office next to Wingstop in front of Walmart. And my guest today is Miss Kim Crumrine. How are you today, Kim?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've been having this conversation about how you're dressed.
Yes.
And you're like, I feel like I should be more dressed up. But your shirt represents something so important to you. So let's talk about that.
Yes. So I am the executive director of the Royse City ISD Education Foundation. And Tuesdays, every Tuesday of the school year, this year, we are wearing our foundation t-shirts with jeans. The superintendent allows all staff members to wear jeans every Tuesday, which the teachers love because they don't have to think about what to wear. So that's why I'm dressed like this today. It's our staff foundation day.
That's awesome. So every single Tuesday,
Yes.
you get to wear that t-shirt with your jeans.
Yes.
That has to be such a nice reprieve for teachers.
Yes.
On
Yes,
Tuesdays.
they cheer for them. They get so excited when we announce Jeans Days. They're just over the moon about it. So
That's so cool. So tell me what you do with the foundation.
I'm the executive director. I basically manage the foundation. We have a volunteer board of directors, but I am the executive director over that. So we just fundraise all year long. All of our money goes back to the school district. So we do grants and scholarships and staff and student appreciation. And so we just hit the ground running every year fundraising.
So is this for like projects or something that maybe a teacher needs that's not in the normal budget? Are those the types of
Absolutely.
projects that you're raising money for?
Yes, there's lots of things that teachers would love to have, campuses, grade levels, or even just a classroom, whether it be, a STEM kit or an entire set of books or new robots for the robotics program, or, we do a lot of stuff at the high school with the culinary arts, all the CTE programs. There's so many teachers that just need extras, so that's kind of what we're here for, is to just kind of come in and supplement what the school district really, not that they don't fund, but that they can't fund. They do all the big stuff, and they do a lot. So we just come in behind them to get the smaller things that we want to keep teachers from spending their money on.
It is. I don't think people realize how much teachers spend of their own money
Oh, yes.
for their classrooms and for their students to make
Yes.
sure they have just that little extra for their learning.
Absolutely. I couldn't tell you how much they spend, but I know a lot of teachers, on top of curriculum or educational materials, just supplies for their classrooms, decorating their classrooms and making it just happy and fun for their students. So we really want to keep them from spending all their hard-earned money.
Right. Well, I'm so glad that there is that organization
Yes.
for them to do that. So how do you guys raise your money then?
Well, we do a lot of different things. We have a fundraising event actually coming up in September, on September 18th at the Hilton in Rockwall. So that'll be our first big fundraising event since we were founded in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So we would do a small partnership dinner every year that was more to highlight the arts, the campus art programs, and the high school culinary program and interior design. So we decided a couple years ago to start making it a fundraising event, and we've done it at the high school every year. So we were supposed to have it in 2020 for the first time at the Hilton, but obviously we had to cancel that. So we're having it this September at the Hilton, and it'll be a fun just dinner, auction, and all kinds of fun stuff.
How fun. So you don't have, this is your first one, so you don't know, you don't
Yes.
have an idea of what you're going to raise, or do you have a goal in mind? Like, did you set a goal?
We don't have an idea really of what we're going to raise. My goal for the event would be the top dollar, but I'm hoping to at least raise $75,000
Wow.
from the event. So we'll see.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So do you invite the community to come? Like, how do people get invitation?
We do invite the community, staff members. We've been advertising on social media and pushing it just to everyone we know. Any donor that has ever given to the foundation usually will get information about what we're having that year. So we just have been asking people to share it and talk about it to the community.
That's really cool. What about your auction items? Where do they come from?
Local businesses.
Donating them.
Yes, donating stuff. Our businesses here in Royse City are so generous, and they are always supporting the foundation. We do spirit nights with them, and anytime we collect items for auctions or giveaways for the school district, they are always very generous. So we're lucky.
It takes everyone
Yes.
to make that all
Yes.
come together.
Yes.
So you're very passionate about it. I can tell. Like,
I
it's
am.
near and dear to your heart. Where did that come from?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't love school growing up. I was not a fan of it, and I couldn't wait to get out. To be honest with you, I guess when I had kids, I started getting involved at school, room mom, PTO mom, that kind of stuff. And I think just seeing kids struggle and knowing that I struggled, and there was lots of things that could be done that could help kids, just maybe hands-on materials or things outside of the box, creative ways of learning that would really engage those kids and just help them cultivate a passion for learning, because I didn't have that growing up. And seeing my kids in this school district, because we've been here since my kids started school, which we can talk about in a minute,
Yes.
but just seeing them, in the classroom and seeing the types of things that Education Foundation did. I actually started on the foundation board in 2012, and then I was the president of the board for a very short period of time. And then when the executive director, they split the jobs within the district and were hiring out for a position for the executive director. So I was hired in 2018. So it was kind of neat to be on the board and be part of it for that long and then come into it as a job. But when I see the teachers, that's the fun thing about being on the foundation now, because when we award grants every fall, we get on a school bus, we go around to every campus with these big checks, and it's a surprise. So seeing the teachers literally break down in tears, they may be getting $300 or $3,000, and they're just in tears. And so happy, and the kids are jumping and screaming, and it's just a lot of fun to see, to know that you're making a difference like that.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So what determines if you're getting $300 or $3,000? Like, how do you
They apply
determine
for
that?
it.
Okay, so it's based on their application.
Yes, we have grants. Grants actually open September 1st, and then they close October 1st. So they apply, and then we have a grant committee that gets together and reads over all the applications and just kind of goes from there.
That has to be kind of hard, though.
It's very
'cause
hard.
you have a set amount of money, but your
Yes.
request may be more
Yes.
than that.
And we do have a certain amount of criteria. We want the grants to be written well. We want to see that there's measurable outcome and data coming from it, and that it's going to be impactful. So not every grant always gets chosen or awarded, and that's hard. I want to give every one of them their money, but it's really hard to say no sometimes.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That is hard. It's kind of like when you're on a scholarship committee.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
for the students,
Yes.
and trying to determine.
Oh, we have
who's gonna get
scholarships
that.
too, and we have to do that. So
So let's talk about you a little bit.
Yes.
So where did you grow up? How did you get to Royse City?
Oh, goodness. I grew up everywhere. I was born in Missouri. I moved to Texas, and then I moved to Georgia, back to Missouri shortly, and then back to Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of moving
A lot
around.
of moving. And that was another thing. I changed schools probably almost every year until I was in about 9th grade.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a lot of moving around, but I adapted. I mean, it was kind of fun.
Did you think it was fun at the time, though? I moved a lot, too, when I was a kid, so I'm curious.
I don't. Thinking back, I don't know. I adapted well, so maybe I didn't realize. I loved meeting. I always loved meeting new people. I'm very outgoing, and so I don't know that it ever bothered me. Moving around a lot. Looking back on it, I think I wish I didn't have to move so much. But I got to meet a lot of cool people and live in a lot of cool places.
It does teach you how to meet new people.
Yes.
When you change schools that often.
Yes.
You're always the new kid. And
Yes.
you're always getting to learn and meet new people and
Yes.
get to know them. So where did you actually end up graduating from? Were you back in Texas?
I
at that point?
graduated in Odessa, Texas at Permian High School.
Oh, yay.
So everybody teases me about Friday Night
I was going to
Lights.
say, you had to be a part of the Friday Night
I
Lights.
was actually hung out with a lot of people that are highlighted in the movie. I was friends with a lot of them. So that was the time I was in high school.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, like the real people.
Yes,
The
real
actual people.
The actual people.
That is so cool.
Yes.
So like when you see that movie, you know.
I do.
You lived that.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that like?
It's
to be a part
kind
of
of
that?
cool. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's all. I don't know about the way they portrayed some of them personally, but the movie is true. I mean, West Texas, especially Permian, it was all about football, Mojo football. So I was there from '88 to '91, so it was all during that time. So it's fun to have a movie and a TV series now to look back on and know that like I lived through that and knew those people. So it's cool.
That is really cool. Okay, so I'm going to tell myself.
Okay.
So I don't know. How did that movie come about? How did that become a
Well,
movie?
somebody wrote a book first, and that was years ago, so not too long after. I think it was just such a heyday. I mean, Permian was doing so good in football, and it was such a big thing that I'm not really sure how the guy that wrote the book came across the story or how that took place, but I think the movie was because of the book.
Really? So do you know that? You don't know that guy then
I
that wrote
don't.
the book?
No, I
So
don't.
That was a part of that. So that must have just touched someone.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
experience and
Yeah.
that family.
Yeah,
atmosphere.
it's a cool atmosphere. It's I mean, Odessa's bigger now, but I mean, for as big as it was back then, it was still a small town,
Right.
and everybody just rallied for football. So
Yes.
it was big
That
for
is,
sure.
it is. I know. I still Friday nights though, when it becomes the fall, I feel like we should be at a football game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's just part of our culture being in
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
So, do any of your friends, when the movie came out, what did they think? Did they feel like it portrayed the people correctly, or did they not?
I think there was some that were a little upset. I don't know any of them real personally now, since we're out of high school for quite a few years.
Just a little bit.
Just a few years. But I think there was some that were a little upset about the way they were portrayed or their families were portrayed. So,
That would be kind of hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like knowing what the real story was, but then, sometimes Hollywood puts a spin on
Yes,
things.
they
that's-
definitely do.
It's not totally accurate.
yeah, they embellish. I mean, I guess all movies are like that, even if they're based on a true story. So,
Right. So were you a part of that yourself? Did you have a role? Was
No.
there your character?
no.
I was like, how far into this were
No.
you?
No, I just knew the people.
That's really cool. So tell me, what did you do after that? What did you do after you graduated from high school?
Oh
and-
gosh. Let me think. I moved around a little bit. My mom ended up moving to Dallas. She had a job change, so that's kind of what brought me to Dallas, and just stayed here.
So what do you do? We actually have not talked about this. Is your involvement in the Education Foundation, is that totally your job and what you do and every day?
It is my job. However, my husband is self-employed, so I help him run his business a little bit. I do some of the, all of the office stuff for him as well. So
What is his business?
he actually does installations of like Coke type soda machines, fountain machines in restaurants and stuff like that.
Oh, fine. So like the ones that you just, like where you go in and put your money in and it dispenses?
No, like in a restaurant, so like the fountain
Oh,
ones.
the fountain ones. Okay, where
and
you
then
go
the
up
big
and-
touch screen fancy ones. He used to be able to work on those. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's what he does.
How long has he done that?
Well, since 2008, when the market crashed, he worked for Coca-Cola and he got laid off after being there for 15 years and started his own business and hadn't looked back.
How did you feel about him starting his own business?
It was tough. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of it at first. I was a little worried because I think I was working part-time at our church at that time. And I had just started working there, I think. So I was like, I just have a part-time job, so we might want to think about finding something else. And he just felt confident that, he just had faith. He was like, I trust that God will get us through it. So he did.
And he did.
And it's been a blessing. It's been a huge blessing. He enjoys it.
And that's nice. I mean, that's the great thing about when you're in business for yourself. Like when you love what you do, you never feel like you're working.
Yeah.
At all,
Yes.
because you're passionate about it. And I think you find that extra grit to make it all happen and make it work.
Yes.
When you're that passionate about it.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so you guys raised your kids here.
Yes.
How did you guys get to Royse City?
So we used to live in Rowlett. After we had our first son, we started talking about moving somewhere a little bit smaller because we knew he was going to be in school and we just wanted a smaller town. My husband wanted to move to Canton. He wanted to live on like 80 acres out in the middle of nowhere. So we kind of after I had right before I had my second son, we kind of drove back and forth between Canton and up towards like Blue Ridge and stuff like that up north. So we just kind of came across Royse City. I mean, we knew it was here,
Right.
but we ran into the neighborhood where we're currently living, and we just liked it. So that's where we built a house.
Did you think it would just be right down the road? You're not that far from Rowlett compared to
No, it's not
Canton
that
and Blue
far.
Ridge and all
It's
those
really not
others.
that far, but we have 2 acres. He just wanted, so we kind of compromised. He got a little bit of land, but I just didn't want to move out in the middle of nowhere with 2 small kids
Right.
and be all by myself because I need people. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So were you a stay-at-home mom then?
I was.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a blessing to have gotten to have done that.
Oh,
while
it
they were
was.
little.
It was a huge blessing.
Along with him having his own business.
Yes. After my first son was born, when he was born, I worked for a mortgage company. Actually, I was a loan processor.
Oh.
It's a lot of work, so I do appreciate all that you all do in the housing market because it was a very stressful job.
Yes, it is. Especially in that part. The processor's the one who makes it all come together and happen on time.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, and I enjoyed it, but I was doing that, and then my mother-in-law kept my older son, so kept him at home for a couple of years while I was working, and then when my second one was born, I was able to stay home for a while.
Did you just always have that tug at your heart that you wanted to be home?
No.
What made you want to be home?
No, I didn't really want to be home, to be honest with you. I didn't mind it. It wasn't something that I always dreamed of, really.
Right.
But I had the chance to, and I just felt like I needed to do it for a little while.
And the memories that you made
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
Would you change that going back?
No, not at all.
I didn't think so.
No. No.
And that's one of those things I've told my kids, you don't know how you're going to feel once you have children. Are you
Yes.
going to want to stay at home, or are you going to want to stay going in your career, and which direction are you going to want to go?
Yes.
And you were so blessed to have the opportunity
Oh, yes.
to be able to stay home and
Yes.
do that.
And I appreciate both sides of it. Stay-at-home
Yes.
moms, it's very hard.
It
It's a
is.
lot of work. And there was days where I thought, I just can't do this. Like, I want to go back to work because it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
But then days at work, I wanted to be at home. So it's a struggle. And I just appreciate moms working, stay at home, the moms that do both. It's a tough job. I don't think people realize how much work it is.
I don't think they do either. I've never had that opportunity, but I've had so many friends that have, and just it's 24/7.
Yes.
They never have a break, and
Yes.
it's one of the hardest jobs I
Yes.
think in the world, but also one of the most rewarding
Oh,
at the end
very.
of the day.
Very rewarding.
And so I'm always, I don't know, I guess I have a heart for stay-at-home moms.
Yes, yes.
Because you're sacrificing so much. You're sacrificing, a lot of times you're making a financial sacrifice too. And then the career mom feels like they have
missing
maybe the
out at
financial
home.
part, but they're missing out with their kids at home. And so as moms, I think we're always
Yep.
in that struggle.
Yes. Yes.
It is real. Okay, well, let's share a fun story when you were a stay-at-home mom. What was one of those things that you still tell about from
Oh,
being at home with
gosh.
the boys?
It would every funny story probably would have to do with my second son because he was the mischievous one. So I think there was one time I was cooking dinner and I went outside to do something and he locked me out of the house.
Oh, no.
And he was probably 2 or so.
Oh, he was little.
Yeah, so that was a little stressful, but we after that had to get an electronic number pad put on the garage door in case that ever happened again because I couldn't get in the house.
I was going to say, how did you get in?
I think he and eventually let me in. Either that or my husband showed up. I'm not really sure, but
Somehow you ended up back in the house.
yes,
Oh, that's
Yes.
funny. Does he take after you or his dad?
his dad definitely. Yeah, we tease him about that.
That's fun. So what do you guys like to do? What are some of your hobbies and things that you enjoy doing?
We I don't know that we have a lot of hobbies. We love just being with our friends, our community group through church, and just having friendships and relationships and hanging out. And we travel some, but not a whole lot. And we went to Napa Valley recently for our 25th wedding anniversary. It was supposed to be last year, but it got canceled. So
COVID.
we went this year. So that was exciting.
That's fun that you got to go and do that. So just the two of you went away?
We actually went with his brother and his wife because it was also their 25th anniversary last year. So we had that plan to all go together. We're best friends with them. So it was a lot of fun to do.
That's really cool. How old are your boys now?
So my older one is 21.
Okay.
And my younger one is 16.
Okay, so you're not all the way through
Not yet.
the school district yet.
No, not yet. No, and they both started kindergarten here and have grown up and will graduate here.
Well, we're on a Heart of Royse City.
Yes.
So let's talk about what you love about Royse City. You obviously brought your family here for that small town feel and that family environment, and you've stayed.
Yes.
So let's talk about all the things that you love about Royse City.
Oh gosh, I love the people. I love the community. Even in 2005 when we moved here and I didn't know anybody, as soon as my son started kindergarten, the people are just so friendly. I started meeting people. One of my best friends right now, I met her while my son was in kindergarten because her son was also in kindergarten. And we met at the building where she works for the school district now also. So the building we work in, which is the administration building, that's where we met. So we always tease about that because they were 5 years old, and now they're both 21. So
Oh, that's so special.
I just love the people. I love that even though it's grown, it really hasn't changed much. A lot of the people that were born and raised here are still here, and they still love the community. There's just tremendous support. No matter what anybody needs in the community, people just rally around them. And it's growing, but I think it's a good thing. And with the growth, you don't see losing that small town feel. It's just still a small town. And I just love the whole community. I love everything about it. And I love the district. Even before I worked for the district, I just have always loved and supported it because I see all of the hard work they put in, and they're constantly trying to change and get better and grow for the students. And that's huge to me.
I can see that from the outside, just how much passion, Mr. Worthy and
Yes.
everyone down from there, just what they have for the school district and for
Yes.
the students, and just really making sure students are prepared, and have what they need to go to that next level, but just taking education to that next
Yes.
level
Yes.
for the kids.
Yep.
So I can see why you would have kept them here.
Yeah.
And plugged into the school district
Yeah.
here. So what are you going to do after your youngest one graduates?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just like right around the corner.
Yep, 2 more years. We're going to throw a party first because he's kind of like me. School's not his absolute favorite, but band keeps him going. He's in the band. He's a drummer, so we get to go to Friday Night Lights and watch him on the football field. He's actually on the billboard right now, the school district billboard.
Oh, how cool.
If you drive out towards Buc-ee's and look at it, that's him up there. But
I'll have to go check that out.
I don't know. It depends on what he does, but I don't see us moving.
I was going to say, do you think you guys will stay in Royse City and
I think
continue?
so. I do.
With your husband's job, I guess he can do it from here. He doesn't have to leave locations.
Yes, I mean his area. He goes. We do a lot of big accounts like the casinos in Oklahoma. We do like the ballpark in Arlington. Some bigger things like
How fun.
Do
you get to go with him?
No, I don't ever.
Like
go.
those are two really cool places. I'm like,
He's always working. I don't want to work. I have enough work to do.
maybe when your youngest is out, then you can go with
Yeah.
him. So you can go hang out at some of those fun places.
And he doesn't even do a lot of it himself. We have guys that work for us. So I don't know. We'll probably travel, a little bit more
Do
once
that
he's
more.
out. My older one will be out of college by then. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see.
That's
But I
exciting.
think we'll stay here. We really do like it. And we like our neighborhood. We like our street. We like our neighbors. It's a quiet community. And so we enjoy it there.
So what is one activity that's your favorite activity that happens in Royse City every year?
Oh, my favorite activity.
Or just event or something that just, you can't wait for that one thing to come.
Oh, goodness. I mean, everybody loves Fun Fest. Fun Fest is it's fun. I mean, the whole community comes out. Main Street is closed down, and everybody's just out shopping and visiting, and it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed that every year.
It is. It's a big event.
It
too.
is a big
People come
event.
from all over. It's
Yes.
not just people in Royse City, but
Yes.
from all over. That is a really cool event. And Main Street's just so awesome.
It really is.
Such a little buzz, and you would think it's hard to back out of your parking space, but it's not. Like, people will wait.
Somebody
and-
usually stops to let
Yes.
you out. Yeah.
You're not trapped forever.
Yes.
In that little spot.
Yeah.
So it is. I always enjoy driving down Main Street.
Yeah.
Well, I told you at the beginning I was going to ask you a random question at the end, and for
Okay.
you to pick a number between 1 and 20. What is your number for your last final question?
Oh, let's go with 16
Okay. What made you pick 16?
because my son's 16.
Okay, that's what I wondered if he was the inspiration for that. Number 16, when you are 90 years old,
Oh, gosh.
what will matter most to you?
When I'm 90, first I hope I'm still alive when I'm 90. I mean, that would be awesome.
This implies that you will.
Okay. What would matter the most to me? Honestly, the most important thing to me is leaving a legacy. So that's what I would hope. That's what I would want the most, is that I've left a legacy.
In what way? Kind of expand upon that. What would you want your legacy to be?
Just a legacy about my faith. We're believers, and in our family, church and faith are very important to us. So just that legacy for my kids and my grandkids, that they would love Jesus and that they would continue to follow that.
Amen. That's the most important legacy
Yeah.
you can leave.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sitting down with me
You're
and sharing
welcome.
parts of your story. And thank you for what you give back to the school district and to the
Thank you.
teachers.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for watching Heart of Royse City. This video series, which is designed to celebrate Royse City, Texas, is spearheaded by REMAX 3D Real Estate.